Afternoon and good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and Coffee Stream episode 421. I hope you guys are having a good Friday, and I do want to warn you guys, if I do randomly drop, there is a hello self. Anyway, there we go. There is a fairly significant storm front heading this way. And so if I do end up just randomly dropping, it's because the storm has arrived and my internet is gone. But I hope that that will not happen and I will be able to give you guys a good stream. So let's see here. Oh, excuse me. And I've got my coffee here. Okay, phone, stop talking. So here we are. I just thought I'd explain the title of my stream today. You'll notice that it's in quotes, some of it. And that is because it's part of the lyrics of a song. Now, if you're if you're Canadian like me, or if you've been paying attention to the Canadian news, if you are in the States or anywhere else, there have been some more discoveries of at residential school sites. We are now up to I think it's 1,300 unearthed remains, and there are some more being unearthed today, I believe. Hello, Costin. There will be I think there's going to be an announcement today about some more remains. So it's, and I've always been of the firm belief that we do need to find all of these remains. We do need to take some accountability, not especially because of the attempts to cover up everything. And we need to provide actual change, such as, clean drinking water to the reserves, proper counseling to help the survivors of the residential schools as well as their kids, because that kind of trauma can be if you undergo abuse like that at a residential school, it is very likely that you may have inadvertently ended up passing that trauma on to your kids, which is what happens with any trauma, really. If you are a traumatized person and you're not given the adequate support and you have kids, you can, it's not like you plan on it, right? But you can end up accidentally leaving psychological damage on your children because of your psychological damage. And we need to provide that type of healing as well for the descendants, for the remaining survivors and their descendants. But we also need to understand that we are a country, and that while some pretty horrible things have happened to a great number of citizens of this country, and it shouldn't have happened, that if we stop celebrating that we are a country, if we stop remembering what has happened, good and bad, because of our country's formation, then we negate the good and the bad that has happened in this country and the good that has been done. And we need to, in order to go forward as a country, we need to not only be accountable for the bad, but we need to not wallow in the bad. We need to not flagellate ourselves. We need to be accountable and take concrete steps to move forward as a country. Because, like it or not, Canada is a country that exists. And Canada has done some good things as a country. And if we quote, cancel Canada Day, then we are negating everything, good and bad, that our country has gone through. And that's not a helpful demonstration. Is Canada Day going to be a bit different this year for a lot of people? Probably. And that's okay, because this is very jarring, and it's very sad, and it's very tragic that all of these kids have gone through this by dint of their ethnicity and race. And, you know, if people don't feel like celebrating the way they normally would this year, I would understand that. But to full out cancel Canada Day, I think is more virtue signaling and a way for people to say they've done something without doing anything. I think Canada Day it should be recognized. You know, and that means recognizing the bad things and the good things. But I just wanted to kind of explain that little title, why I used that quote, and kind of bring, because I have been covering the residential school situation, so I wanted to talk about the discoveries in Saskatchewan yesterday. There was an unearthing in Manitoba as well, but the one in Saskatchewan was huge. It was like 750 kids, which is really sad. But let's move on to the news. I do actually have a news story about an idiot pastor in Mississauga. What, honey? Okay. Where's my Twitter tab? There it is. Okay. And of course, school has finished for the oldest. So he's here playing some Minecraft in the background. What are we doing here? There's also, oh shit, where did my train of thought go? Really? Thank you very much, brain. You suck. Anyway, let's read the story about the pastor first, because I did just finish speaking about the residential school situation. So, contextually, it makes sense. Okay, where is it? Where is the link? That is okay. We're gonna read this to start with, because like I said, I just finished talking about the discoveries. So this is a topical article window. Oops. Okay, back to StreamYard so I can share the screen. Come on, StreamYard. Oh, really? There we go. Okay. Cooperate, please, computer. Okay, here we go. Are you playing Minecraft or Dragons, buddy? Minecraft. Oh, are you playing? Are you playing the Dragon Minecraft? Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. I thought I recognized that music. Okay. So, this special person, priest under fire after sermon on the good done by the Catholic Church on residential schools. Really, sir? Really? Okay. You're a special kind of dumb. So this is Reverend Owen Kean, a Roman Catholic priest. A Roman Catholic priest in Mississauga, Ontario. So here we go. Let's take a listen here.
A Mississauga, ONT, priest is under fire after a sermon referencing the good done by the Roman Catholic Church in residential schools.
Let's start that again because voiceover was quiet.
A Mississauga, ONT, priest is under fire after a sermon referencing the good done by the Roman Catholic Church in residential schools, saying some might go so far as to even thank it. You are currently...
Yeah. You might thank the Catholic Church for the good done. That's like saying altar boys should thank the Catholic Church for the good they've done them. I'm sure you don't need me to elaborate.
During his sermon at the Merciful Redeemer Parish last Sunday, Monsignor Owen Keenan referenced the link Kamloops, BC, where the Kamloops Taysacway link Kamloops, BC, residential school, where the Kamloops Taysacway Pemp First Nation reported it had discovered the preliminary remains of more than 200 children in unmarked graves in May.
Yep.
2/3 of the country is blaming the church, which we love, for the tragedies that occurred there, he said on a video originally posted to the church's YouTube page but since deleted. Clips of his sermon continued to circulate on social media.
Yeah, because screen record is a thing, people. Archive is a thing.
I presume the same number would thank the church for the good done in those schools, but of course, that question was never asked and we are not allowed to even say that good was done there. I wait to see what comes to my inbox.
Yeah, he knew what he was saying was wrong, and he was still like, screw it. I'm just gonna say it anyway. Like, really, dude? Like, this is just like tone deaf at the least, and just straight up asshole-ish at the most. Like, you know what you're saying is wrong, and you're basically trolling a group of people that are actively grieving, plus the rest of the country that is basically in shock, because let's face it, the majority of Canadians were not taught in history class about the residential schools, really. Like, we weren't. The only reason I know about so much about stuff is because I actually have people in my family that, like, my grandmother's mother was a residential school survivor. And my family just in general was very much about providing, buddy, no yelling, okay? They were very much about answering questions like, and if they didn't know, like, we would go and, like, do research together. Like, it was very much more of a educate yourself type of thing. Like, they taught me how to, actually learn things by myself outside of school. But not everybody has that, right? And a lot of Canadians that don't know about this are right now kind of, in a way, grieving the loss of a country they now realize didn't really exist the way that they thought it did. And this guy is just straight up trolling everybody. Like, really, dude?
Heading level 2. A clip of Keenan's comments sparked outrage on social media, with one person tweeting that the priest's comments were really disgusting and that the church is not the victim.
No, the church is absolutely not the victim.
Twitter tweet. Group. Twitter embed. Frame. End of. Twitter. Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie, a practicing Catholic, said she was extremely disappointed by her pastor's comments about residential schools.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of practicing Catholics right now that are like,
Reading from a prepared statement at a news conference Thursday, the mayor called Keenan's homily deeply insensitive to Indigenous Canadians, particularly at a time when Indigenous communities are in pain as they unearth more mass graves at the sites of former residential schools.
Yeah.
York, list one item.
And like,
Chrome
may
has a
I
window.
remind you guys that the last school closed in 1996. Okay? So, like, 25 years ago. Not exactly old history. Very recent.
Bullet. Link. End of list. His comments show a fundamental misunderstanding of one of the core tragedies of the residential school system in Canada, she said. The children.
Oops.
End of.
Sorry.
His comments show a fundamental misunderstanding of one of the core tragedies of the residential school system in Canada, she said. The children were forcibly separated from their parents. You are currently on it. Crombie said how Canada's history has been taught obscures the truth behind what really happened. The federal government and many churches, including the Catholic Church, operated these schools for close to 150 years, committing atrocities and silencing voices forever.
Yeah?
No apology from the federal government or the church will be enough to undo the havoc that was wreaked through these institutions, Crombie said. But an apology is where we must start. It's a basic and it's a fundamental foundation to our reconciliation. You are correct.
Yeah. Like, the church, especially if the Pope is not going to apologize, it's incumbent on other, like, priests and all that. Buddy, what are you writing? What are you typing? Oh, okay. Carry on. Okay. So yeah, let's carry on here.
Dr. Suzanne Shash, who is Indigenous, works for the Catholic-run health network Unity Health Toronto. She is demanding. Link. The Pope apologized. Chrome has new window. For the church's role in residential schools, she said comments like those made by Keenan are damaging to reconciliation and exemplify why Catholic leaders need to intervene. You are currently on a text element. This is part of the reason why we keep pushing to have a formal asking of forgiveness to Indigenous people in Canada from the Pope himself, she said.
Yeah?
It's really critical that it comes from the leadership so that we stop having these incredibly ignorant and harmful comments coming from across the church. I think that what we are seeing is extremely harmful to reconciliation.
It is. It is harmful.
An undated photo of Kamloops residential school students and a priest. A Mississauga, ONT, priest is under fire after a sermon. During his sermon at Link, where the Kamloops Tay Sekwe Pep.
Wait. Why did it do that?
During his sermon at the Merciful Redeemer Parish last Sunday, Monsignor Owen Keenan referenced the. During his sermon at the Mississauga. During Link.
But yeah, so
Chrome has new window.
that's what happened. This guy's an idiot. I'm just. Let's see. Hello, Wikipedia snippet. You typed in Hook Fang? How do you spell Hook Fang? Good job, buddy. That is how you spell Hook Fang. Good job. You like name tags? You He had a dragon that he had, and he actually called it name tag. He literally called it name tag. It was really funny. And he's changed it now, so that's good. So yeah, that priest is a special brand of ignorant. Um, yeah, it's very unfortunate. Okay, why did I close the Twitter page that I had open? That was dumb. Okay. That was very silly. Okay. So I have a couple of other stories to read. Um, let's go over here. Over here. Okay. So let's take a look at this story here. So um our former chief, or our former minister of, was she the minister of justice? I can't remember. She was the one who was holding Trudeau accountable for I think it was his second scandal when he was in office, and she was moved. Her portfolio was moved. Her name was Jody Wilson-Raybould. I covered that story. Anyway, the Crown Indigenous minister sent her a text. That was racist. Because I think Jody Wilson-Raybould is actually Indigenous. So yeah, let's go share this screen here. All the way to the close bottom. There we go. This morning, Alex goes, I want to live stream. We're like, no, you're too young. He's like, really? Okay, here we go. So this is from the National Post. Where are we here? Crown Indigenous Minister Carolyn Bennett apologizes for Wilson-Raybould after racist text. After 751 unmarked graves were found at a former residential school, Wilson-Raybould called on the Prime Minister to make things right. As a response, Bennett messaged her pension. Wait, what? Weird. Okay, let's read this article here.
Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Carolyn Bennett has apologized after she was called out for a one-word text message to Independent MP Jody Wilson-Raybould. You are correct. Bennett messaged the word pension in response to Wilson-Raybould's tweet seeking concrete federal action as a Saskatchewan First Nation announced 751 unmarked graves have been found on the site of a former Indigenous residential school in the province.
Wow.
Heading Level 2. Distress scale. Advertisement. The pension response was in reaction to Wilson-Raybould's further call that the Prime Minister quit his selfish jockeying for a federal election. Wilson-Raybould says no one wants.
She's not wrong, and that's exactly what he's doing. Yes, a Roman Catholic priest said that, yeah.
Members of Parliament must serve for 6 years before becoming eligible for a pension, and Wilson-Raybould, elected in October 2015, would miss that mark if she were not re-elected in a full vote. You heading level 2. More on this topic.
Wow.
You are currently on a link. Heading level 2. Link. Previous item in carrot. Next item in carrot. Story continues below.
It's not racist though, but it is a dick move. Like saying that you're trying to garner pension by like sticking up for constituents in your I don't.
She fired back at Bennett, saying the minister's tweet was both racist and misogynistic, prompting a quick apology from the minister. You are currently.
How is it misogynist? How is it either of those things?
Twitter group.
I'm sorry, it was wrong. It was wrong, and it was a low blow. But how is it either misogynistic or racist?
Frame 1. End of. Twitter. Story continues below. Bennett's online post said she had apologized directly to Wilson Raybould, but neither politician has responded to requests for further details. I let interpersonal dynamics get the better of me and sent an insensitive and inappropriate comment, which I deeply regret and shouldn't have done, Bennett says in a statement on her Twitter account. You are currently on.
Interpersonal dynamic. Really? That's your excuse? You let interpersonal dynamics get the best of you.
Wilson Raybould's response to Bennett's initial pension query said the post reflects the notion that indigenous peoples are lazy and only want $sign. You are. Shows disregard, disdain, and disrespect for indigenous peoples, as in our history, she wrote, conveys a strong indigenous woman, is a bad indig woman. You are correct.
Yeah.
Twitter. Frame 3. End of. Twitter. Story continues below. Wilson Raybould. She had her. Wilson Raybould was appointed as Canada's first Indigenous Justice Minister under the Liberal government, but was booted from caucus in 2019 after she accused Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of pressuring her to secure a deferred prosecution agreement for SNC Lavalin.
Yeah.
She had earlier resigned as a cabinet minister over the affair. In August 2019, the Federal Ethics Commissioner concluded that Trudeau violated the Conflict of Interest Act by improperly pressuring Wilson Raybould to halt a criminal prosecution of the Montreal engineering giant on corruption charges related to contracts in Libya.
Yep.
Wilson Raybould was re-elected as an independent MP in October 2019. Link. View on National Post.
Yeah. So this is okay. Now I can kind of see where it's racist. I mean, like I said, it's shallow. It's absolutely like it's not the way politicians should be acting with each other. But I don't think that it's misogynistic. I don't think it's like it's absolutely out of line, for sure. But I don't really think that it's racist per se. Like I could see where you could read racism into it, but I wouldn't go so far myself to like it's absolutely wrong. Especially in the context of the discussion that's being had right now. Absolutely it's wrong. But is it racist? I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, so now we have a different type of story. Where are we here? Okay, let's go share the screen here. Do, 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 do. Okay, share. Okay. So I think we all heard about this woman who was like apparently the first woman to have 10 babies. Well, apparently she didn't have 10 babies. Where are we here? South African woman who claimed to birth 10 babies was lying. Why would you lie about something like that? This was published June 24th. And here we go.
Her maternity pants are on fire.
Yeah.
You are currently... The woman accused of lying about birthing the world's first decaplets was indeed lying. YouTube video. Group. YouTube. And up.
Yeah, decaplets.
YouTube video. Gojiam sit hole.
Come on.
Link. Chrome has new window. The God and provincial gov... That she had given birth. Link. Claimed earlier... Gojiam sit hole. Link. Claimed earlier this month that she had given birth to 10 babies, which would have been a world record, but in a bizarre series of events, she went into hiding after she supposedly delivered the babies and was keeping their whereabouts a secret. The God and provincial government. Link. Said Wednesday, It had conducted a thorough check with all hospitals in the area to establish the veracity of Sidhol's decaplets claim and found no trace of the newborns, nor did they find evidence that babies were even born.
Oh my god.
None of the hospitals in the province, public and private, had any records of such births at their facilities, the local government said.
That's insane!
Officials added that when they finally found Sidhol, she was taken in for a 72-hour psychiatric evaluation, which was then extended by an additional 7 days. You are currently on a text element. Story continues below. Third party. Frame 1. Endom has new window. It has now been established by medical practitioners that Ms. Sidhol did not give birth to any babies in recent times. The statement revealed.
Holy shit. She not only did she not give birth to 10, she didn't give birth to any. Hey, Lord Famine. That's insane.
It has also been established that she was not pregnant in recent times. You are currently on a
Wow.
YouTube video. Market eviction, Canadian Dream now, and Dove. Unmute video, but... The government is also deeply concerned by the conduct of the newspaper that first broke the story and are instructing the state attorney to institute legal action against editor Piet Rampidi and the Pretoria News.
Oh, wow.
The paper reports that Sidhol gave birth to the babies at Steve Biko Academic Hospital, but alleged that the government was trying to cover up medical negligence. You are currently on... These allegations are false, unsubstantiated, and only serve to tarnish the good reputation of Steve Biko Academic Hospital and the Gauteng provincial government. You are currently on a text... Story continues...
Jesus Christ.
Third-party ad content.
This is crazy.
Frame 3. Chrome has new... End of. Third-party ad... Rampidi has since written a letter to his boss and staff, as seen by News 24, apologizing for the reputational damage the aftermath of the story has caused for the group, the company, and my colleagues in general. You are... He also admitted that he could have verified some of the facts around Sidhol's story, but added he had no reason to doubt them. You are currently... They had no reason to lie to me about the pregnancy, the email continued.
Well, other than the fact that it would have caused them a lot of attention. Ugh.
For me, it was a story of celebration. There was nothing to investigate, I thought. Rampidi added how wrong based on the outcome and the government's reaction. I was wrong. It was not necessarily a feel-good story. It was an investigative story and ought to have been treated as such.
Every story is an investigative story. That is what journalism is supposed to be. Ugh. Good Lord. I don't understand.
Link. List 4 items. Chrome. Share on Twitter. End of list.
Yeah, I don't understand how journalists have... Like, how is it that like, tiny YouTubers do more work to investigate things than supposedly trained journalists? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Okay. Got a couple more stories to go through here. All right. Back we go. Ow. Stupid back. Okay. So here's a story that I actually read before the stream, and it made me kind of annoyed. So we're going to read this. It's an opinion piece. And it made me a little annoyed. So we're going to read it. Come on, give me the StreamYard thing that I want. Thank you. Oh, very embarrassing. Yep. I don't understand why journalists don't think that every story they find is an investigative story. Like, had these people never heard of the phrase "there's more than meets the eye"? Like, I. Okay. So this is an opinion piece, as I said. I am a Canadian citizen. Why can't my son be a Canadian citizen too? Well, was he born here? So this was published June 25th and updated 2 hours ago. So this is a Middle East a women's rights, human rights, and refugees rights. Baker Institute for Public Policy. Buddy, stop. Okay, but you don't need to scream like that, okay? Alex, what did I just say? No screaming, right? Okay, so here's this thing.
Recently, I finally began the process of preparing my infant son's Canadian citizenship application ahead of his first birthday. We are hoping to finally travel from the United States to see his Canadian grandmother for the first time later this summer. And I thought that having Canadian identification for both of us would ensure an easier border crossing amid COVID-19 restrictions. Only in preparing the application did I learn that I will not be able to pass my Canadian citizenship to him. You are...
Where was he born in freaking... Okay, first of all, were you a natural Canadian citizen, or did you apply for your Canadian citizenship as an adult? Ah, but as the story goes on, you'll see why this annoys me.
My mother was born in Canada, as was her mother, but I was born in the United States. As a baby, she made sure to promptly apply by mail for my Canadian citizenship, and I still have a national identity card with my pudgy 9-month-old face on it. At the time, my Canadian citizenship earned via descent was not yet of a lesser quality. York. When I was a child, my mother took steps to cultivate my love and pride for Canada. We spent summers in Canada with my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. We saw the view from the CN Tower in Toronto. We took a train through the Rockies from Calgary to Vancouver, and we saw orcas swimming in the Georgia Strait. My mother rightfully taught us to frown upon anything but pure maple syrup, and I faithfully learned the words to "O Canada." By my high school years, I embraced my Canadian identity fiercely, proudly reminding friends that I was Canadian as well as American at every opportunity. I studied French in high school rather than the more obvious choice of Spanish given our location in Southern California, and after my first year of university I spent a summer working in British Columbia, absolutely enamored with the province's natural beauty. You are currently...
Yes, we understand. You love Canada. That's awesome.
But it wasn't until I was 23 that I fully embraced my Canadian citizenship. When it came time to apply for a master's degree, I was accepted to study public policy at the University of Toronto, a city that I fell in love with. I was able to see my family in Ontario on weekends and holidays, and when I finished my degree, my citizenship allowed me to easily stay and work in Toronto for several research institutes and civil society organizations. You are currently on a text element.
Awesome!
Eventually, I came back to the US for my PhD, having been told I would have an easier time returning to Canada to find work after graduation with an American doctorate. Conversely, while I was able to secure a 2-year postdoctoral fellowship at the University of British Columbia, the only long-term jobs I was offered were in the United States. And by virtue of remaining in the United States for employment, and by giving birth to my son here, I'm unable to pass on my Canadian citizenship to him. You are currently on a text element.
No, but why can't he apply when he's older? Like, what's stopping him from applying to be a Canadian citizen when he's older? Why can't you give him residence status? Why can't you apply for residence status if you guys go to Canada so much? Why can he not claim residence status until he is an adult and then apply for citizenship as an adult. What is stop like the way this person is writing this is as though because he was born an American, he will never. The U.S. hasn't allowed dual citizenship since the 90s. So that's another thing I've been wondering about this article. Like, how has she managed to hold on to her dual citizenship?
In 2009, the Harper government. Link. You are currently on a link. In 2000, link. Passed an amendment that prevented Canadian citizens who were themselves not born in Canada from passing on their citizenship to children also not born in Canada. This was part of a larger trajectory of limiting access to naturalized citizenship and privileging Canadians without dual citizenship. In 2015, Bill C-24 came into effect under the Harper government. The most controversial aspect of this act was that it allowed the government to potentially. You are correct. Link. Strip. Dual citizen Canadians of their nationality should they be found guilty of terrorism, fraud, treason or serving in a foreign army, among other reasons, but the act did not apply the same standards to citizens born in Canada. As such, rights groups such as Amnesty International. You are currently. Link. Argued that the act discriminates against foreign-born Canadians and creates a hierarchical model of Canadian citizenship predictably. This trajectory has and will continue to disproportionately affect brown and black Canadians who, whether by necessity or choice, live outside of Canada for educational or employment opportunities or because of family obligations at the time their children are born. You are supporters of the Harper government's move to...
Okay. You do know that there are other countries and continents on the planet besides North America that have white people on them that may want to come to Canada, right? You are aware of this fact, aren't you? Like, that not everybody outside of Canada is black or brown. Like, you do know this, right? That's why mom never got hers. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but after 9/11, like, what did you expect? And you know why they didn't strip naturalized Canadians born as Canadians of their citizenship for this? Because we have other punishments for those people. Like people born in Canada who are Canadian citizens because they were born here can still be charged with treason. You do know that, right? You don't, just because they don't charge only foreign-born Canadians with treason. But if you strip a person who is born in that country of their citizenship, where are they gonna go? You dumbass. Where are they gonna go? The reason you strip a foreign-born citizen of any country of that country's citizenship if they do something wrong is so they can go back to their country of origin because they did something wrong in their new country. Holy crap. How hard is this to understand for people?
Link. Proclaimed. Supporters of the Harper government's move toward a narrower naturalization and dual citizenship law focused on the idea that the citizenship should not be seen as a commodity. Chris Alexander, Minister of Citizenship and Immigration at the time Bill C-24 was proposed. Chrome has new window. Link. Proclaimed. In 2014, Canadians value their citizenship. They understand it applies to us who live here and who are connected to Canada. It's not for sale. It's not free, and it's not without any obligations. You are currently on a text element.
And I ask you, what is wrong with that statement? Like, put aside the partisanship for a minute, okay? Put aside the fact that a big bad conservative spoke those words. And tell me, what is wrong with that statement? Oh wait, nothing. Nothing is wrong with that statement.
From my son, this issue is not about the value of Canadian citizenship. And as far as passports go, he is equally as privileged with an American passport as he would be with a Canadian one. What I mourn is the lack of a connection to Canada that citizenship by descent entails. We will visit his grandmother in BC, and I will introduce him to his family in Ontario. I'll even find ways of passing on cultural cues and traditions, but he will never have the promise or ease of living and working in Canada himself and fostering his own connections to the country, as I did. You are currently...
Why can he not apply for citizenship as an adult and move to Canada if he wants to? Or are you just mad because he won't be able to hold dual citizenship? Because guess what? That's not a right. If you were not born in a country, you do not have a right to citizenship in that country. I'm sorry. Even if your parents have a citizenship, and by the way, you didn't even get your citizenship because you were born in Canada. Your mother had to apply for it. But it is not your son's right to be a citizen of Canada. I'm sorry, and it's not your right. Citizenship in any country, just like it's not somebody's right to be a citizen of America, of the States, if they weren't born there. Just like it's not somebody's right to be a citizen of the UK if they weren't born there. Like, I'm sorry, deal with it. It's like these idiots that think that driving is a right. No, it's not. It's not a right. I'm sorry. It's not. It's like, and just like I'm sorry, if you were not born in a country and you do not get to just automatically be like, okay, give me citizenship. It doesn't work that way.
I may currently live in the US, but I file Canadian taxes, I visit regularly, pandemic aside, and I maintain strong connections with my Canadian family, friends, and colleagues. Interestingly, during the House of Commons committee debates prior to the adoption of the 2009 amendment, the committee link considered allowing the transmission of citizenship by descent to children born abroad to a Canadian parent, provided that the Canadian parent resided in Canada for a period of time before the child was born. Instead, the government argued that doing so would be too complicated and opted for one simple transparent rule that removed the possibility of citizenship by descent for the second generation.
Yeah, because it would be too complicated. And also, if you pay Canadian taxes and you visit that regularly, again, why can your son not have a resident card? Oh, wait, because that would make sense. I want him to have connections to Canada, but I won't do the thing that will help him have connections to Canada and also make my border crossing easier. I just want to write this article and whine. And bitch about racism. 'Cause that's easier. And I get paid to do that.
Story continues below advertisement. Free screen. Even though I would have personally...
Oops.
Free story screen. Story continues below advertisement. Free screen. Even though I would have personally benefited from a modification that allowed Canadians by descent who had lived in Canada to pass on their citizenship, this would not have resolved the underlying flaw of the 2009 amendment. The bottom line is that allowing some Canadian citizens, those born in Canada, the ability to transmit their nationality while denying others Canadians by descent from doing so creates an unequal, hierarchical model that ultimately tarnishes what it means to be Canadian.
Wait a minute. Are you mad that people born in Canada are automatically citizens? Is that really what you're mad about? How come if you're born in a country, you're automatically a citizen, but if you apply if you get your citizenship after you're born and you don't give birth in this country, how come your kids don't get citizenship? That's not fair. When? Good God. Oh my God.
My inability to pass along my citizenship is a loss for my son and a loss for Canada, especially at a time when the birth rate is at a... You are currently on a link. To click the...
Okay, if you're not living there...
My son and a loss for Canada, especially at a time when the birth rate is at a link. Record low.
Okay, honey, if you aren't living there and you didn't give birth there, what does his existence, even if he has a citizenship after his birth, do for the birth rate of Canada? Or are you talking about, are you like planning his life for him already? He's gonna move to Canada and have a big family and like single-handedly repopulate Canada? Like, what are you talking about? What are you even talking about? My son, the fact that I cannot pass my citizenship on to my son is a loss for Canada because the birth rate's at an all-time low. You didn't give birth there. His birth will not go into the statistics of Canada, even if you got him a citizenship now as an infant. His birth would not go to the statistics of Canada. What does that have to do with anything? And who's to say he can't marry a Canadian as an adult, go there, and, like, have kids anyway? Like, you have to. Where is it in, when you go to, get your obstetrics and everything done, and you're pregnant? I don't remember being asked if my partner was a Canadian citizen or not. Like, I don't think it's a rule that you only have to sleep with other Canadian citizens to increase the birthing pool. Like, I'm just saying. Hello, Selecta Boy. Hello, Adamantine. Articles written by a robot with the amount of trending buzzwords music. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, this is ridiculous.
And the government is scrambling to find ways of increasing immigration. Citizenship has the potential to act as an instrument of inclusion rather than exclusion, with all the governments. You are currently on a... And the link. Fanfare. About the strength of multiculturalism, it certainly seems like an apt time to revisit the trajectory of using citizenship to exclude, rather than expanding and celebrating dual nationals who want to share their Canadian citizenship with their children. You are currently on a text... Keep your opinions sharp and...
I parts of this, like, yes, we should have, if you want to immigrate and be productive, that should be allowed. But I'm sorry, just because you hold a Canadian citizenship, if you choose to go back to your birth country, if you're a dual citizen and you choose to go back to your birth country and have your child there, guess what? Your kid's a citizen of your birth country. Deal with it. You made that choice. Don't bitch that the government just doesn't hand out citizenships. You weren't even born in Canada. Holy Christ. Anyway. I think we have one more story or two more stories. I don't know. We have some number of stories that are left. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I think this is our last one. Okay, hold on here. You're a gorilla?
Yeah. How about my dad's character?
Are you on Daddy's map? Or yours?
I'm on the dragon game, and then
Yeah, but I thought... Are you playing, like, the dragon game or Minecraft?
a dragon Minecraft game.
Are you on your account?
On my dad's account.
Why are you on your dad's account?
It's back on my dad's account.
Why can't you go on your account?
My dad's account is better.
Why? Because of the gorilla? Oh. Okay. Where are we? Share screen. Yes, please. So apparently, China is planning to go to Mars. A manned mission to Mars. In 12 years. So let's take a look at this. He's like randomly yelling, "Dragon!" Hey, buddy, stop. Stop yelling. Okay? I don't want a consent banner. Dismiss. Go away. I want to read this article. Alex, you're yelling too much, bud. So China plans. Where are we? Where's the headline? China plans China plans for first manned Mars mission. That's a hard thing to say. Manned Mars mission in 2033. The ambitious target is part of a plan to build a base on the red planet. Oh my lord. Okay. Let's take a listen. Here we go.
China plans to send its first crewed mission to Mars in 2033, with regular follow-up flights, under a long-term plan to build a permanently inhabited base on the red planet and extract its resources.
Good luck with that.
The ambitious plan, which will intensify a race with the United States to put humans on Mars, was disclosed in detail for the first time after China. You are currently on a link. Landed a robotic rover on Mars, in mid-May in its inaugural mission to the planet.
Okay, so the U.S. has been going to Mars for like 20 years now, at least. Okay? And exploring it with rovers and stuff. You made your first mission to Mars this year, and you're like, yeah, in 12 years we're going to put men and humans on Mars, and we're going to build a base. Well, I suppose you have a lot more people to expend.
Keep reading. Article. Link. Shenzhou. End of new article. Link. Shenzhou 12. End of article. Link. NASA plans. End of article. End of.
Hey.
Link. Keep reading.
I want to keep reading.
Article. End of article. End of. Before the crewed missions begin, China will send robots to Mars to study possible sites for the base and to build systems to extract resources there. The official China Space News reported on Wednesday, citing Wang, who is headed.
Oops.
Crewed launches to Mars.
You're gonna send.
Before the crewed missions begin. Crewed launches to Mars are planned for 2033, 2035, 2037, 2041, and beyond. The head of China's main rocket maker, Wang Ziyajin, told a space exploration conference in Russia recently by video link.
Okay, so basically, you're gonna send. First of all, it takes, I think it's like 15 months to get to Mars. Something like that. 15, 18 months, I think. So, 2033, 2035, 2040, or 37, and 2041. You don't even know how the first group of people are doing before you're sending off the second group. That makes no sense. Send Trudeau on a one-way trip to Mars. I'm down for that. Let's see here. Wow, how careless of that, right? Like, they're just, I mean, I suppose this is what you can do when you have a population of, a couple billion people. You can just ship, it's for the good of your country, get in the rocket. Like, Jesus Christ, this is...
Before the crewed missions begin, China will send robots to Mars to study possible sites for the base and to build systems to extract resources there. The official China Space News reported on Wednesday, citing Wang, who is head of the China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology.
Okay, do you guys know how difficult it is to remotely perform even the most simple tasks with a rover on a different planet, let alone complex, like, base building, system extraction? Like, do you know anything about anything?
For human habitation on Mars, crews would have to be able to use the planet's resources, such as extracting any water beneath its surface, generating oxygen on site, and producing electricity. You are currently...
Yeah, that's like the last three things you should be worrying about. What you should be worrying about first is, how are we going to provide a gravitational field for the humans? Because they need gravity to, exist. And second of all, how are you going to keep dust from clogging up breathing filters? Because before you can produce the oxygen to provide atmosphere for your base, you're going to need the oxygen tanks for your spacesuits. And how are you going to keep dust out of those? How are you going to keep dust out of the base's filtration system? Oh, also, how are you planning on dealing with all of the solar radiation that comes through because there's no magnetosphere? Also, need I go on?
China must also develop technology to fly astronauts back to Earth.
Huh! I don't think they're going to develop that technology. I think that this is a experiment, and I think they're just gonna leave them there. I really do. Um, USA took years to develop rovers to move around. Exactly. And the sun is further from Mars. Exactly. It costs about 22,000 US dollars a kilogram to send something into low Earth orbit. Yeah. It is expensive.
Third party had contact. An uncrewed round trip mission to acquire soil samples from the planet is expected by the end of 2030. You are currently...
Wait. You're waiting until 2030 to get soil samples, and then 3 years after that you want to send people?
What? Ooh. That's awesome.
Are you looking at the screen?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
I can go to the door.
No, I'm almost done. Okay. Let's see here.
NASA, the U.S. Space Agency, has been developing technology to get a crew to Mars and back sometime in the 2030s. You are currently...
Yes, but NASA has been exploring Mars for almost 30 years now. So they've got slightly more of a head start on China in this department here.
China's Mars plan envisages fleets of spacecraft shuttling between Earth and Mars and the major development of its resources, Wang said.
We don't live in Star Trek, okay?
To shorten the travel time, spacecraft would have to tap energy released from nuclear reactions in the form of heat and electricity, in addition to traditional chemical propellants, Wang said.
Also, to shorten the travel time, perhaps you could wait till the planets are, in position. Orbits, stuff like that.
China would have to accomplish round trips with a total flight time of a few hundred days, he said. You are currently on a text...
Okay. A few hundred days. You do know that it takes about a year, a little more, to get to Mars right now with current technology. Hey, all you need. Not too much all you need, not much is new. Just hanging out. Reading about how China is planning on sending some of its citizens to Mars in like 12 years. And they've only just gotten their first rover to Mars this year. So, yeah. I think we're going to be finding a lot of, I'm picturing when the Europeans get to Mars or the Americans get to Mars, if we get to Mars after China, I am picturing like this horrendous horror movie scene when the ESA lands or NASA lands, and there's like these poor fucking these poor fucking Chinese people who've been marooned there by their government, and their stuff isn't working and they're all dead. Mars is overrated. Um, yeah, Mars is definitely. I think we should. I'm surprised China didn't decide to send their citizens to Venus or the Sun. That's funny.
Inline form. Dialogue.
Where are we here?
China is also planning to set up a base at the south pole of the moon and is deploying robotic expeditions to asteroids and Jupiter around 2030. You are currently on a text.
How about you do one thing at a time, China?
Third-party ad content. Group. Last week, China sent 3 astronauts to an unfinished space station in its first crewed mission since 2016, expanding its growing near-Earth presence and challenging U.S. leadership in orbital space. You are currently on a tech...
Yeah, except with the way that China's going about this, they're like putting they are doing way too much at once. They're gonna make a huge somebody or some people in China's overzealous space approach here are going to die. Okay? And they're going to die in a horrifying way because space is no joke. In Total Recall, Mars was considered a bad place. We should go, but we have other priorities to address first. Yeah. No, they are rushing this mission. So yeah, let's see here.
Source. Reuters.
Oh, that's the end of the article. So yeah, China is, I think, rushing this hugely, especially because of how late they are to the game in space exploration. And I think that it's going to cost them the lives of quite a few of their citizens. And sadly, I don't think they care. I really don't think they care. Which is really sad because, you should care about the deaths of your citizens. But hey, that's just me and my opinion. Martian dirt cookies. Let's see. Space is cold, deep, and breathtaking. Literally, yep. Yep. China has plenty of spare citizens. That they do. That they do. Well, my friends, you have come to the end of another Sorry, I accidentally closed too many windows. So, as I was saying, I am going to end the stream now, and I hope you guys have a great idea, or a great day. Please come and watch tonight on Twitch. I will be celebrating my 100 followers and practicing for EVO qualifiers for MK11. So I hope you guys all had a fantastic time. Thank you for watching. Please have a very good day, a very safe weekend. If you are in this storm cell in Ontario, stay dry. And I will catch you for the Star Trek stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about Trek Tech. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a fantastic day.